guys, so back again for lightweight chit chat, back with another interview. This week we've got Finlay Mercer, fresh back off his Europe's Strongest Man escapade, should we say? We'll talk about some of them as we go, but yeah. So generally, just wanted to get Finlay's opinion on the events as a competition as a whole, how he thought he performed, and what improvements he thinks he can make, things like that. So, welcome, Finlay. Say hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. So yeah, like I said, we just want to sort of grill you a little bit about Europe's and find a little bit about you. Obviously, a lot of people have probably seen you on the live stream. Probably thought, who's this nutter trying to kick sandbags over, standing there pasting before events. Yeah, just get a little idea of like how your competition makes. So what we'll do is we'll start off with first event, which was log for reps, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What weight did you have on the day?
Yeah, so they said it was going to be 110 kilos, and then we found out afterwards that it was 115. So
Nice.
that would have been a PB if I hit it.
Yeah.
I think I got it, pretty close. It felt a lot further away than I did looking back at the video. So
I think
I don't know.
watching your log at Brits a couple of weeks ago, like I think you looked more convincing on that 115 than you did probably on the 107. Was it 117 that you missed?
Yeah.
So like you're definitely making some improvements and stuff. Like I think you missed the 117. I don't think you got it anywhere close to.
Yeah, it wasn't close at all. Yeah, there were some changes that I made to the log after that, and I'm happy with the progress I made, even if it's not reflected on the score sheet. There's definitely stuff I've learned.
It was a
So I'm happy
closer
about
miss.
that.
At least it was a
Yeah,
closer miss this time. We'll take that.
yeah,
Right, so you still like we went over last time, like you're still real new to the sport. Like there's going to be some big improvements over the next couple of years, no doubt.
hopefully.
So log for reps was a bit of a chalk it out, no rep, sort of wipe it out the memory bank and get on to the next one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fair play, fair play. Did
Yeah.
you get a chance to see like Dean out there and some of the top guys that hit the reps go?
Yeah. So like on competition day, I guess I'm pretty like tunnel visioned. So everything else goes kind of like black, and I barely even remember competing myself. But yeah, watching it back, I think a lot of the lads kind of struggled with the weight. Obviously, they thought it was 110, and they were coming off and they were complaining about like how the platform was a bit spongy and maybe absorbing some of the power. But I'm just not good enough to even like have the proprioception to be aware that that's an issue.
Didn't even realise.
It was just totally a strength issue for me.
There's always a bag of excuses ready whenever someone fails something. So it's not to be surprised. I was going to say, what was I meant to ask you before we got into it? Like, what was the sort of atmosphere like going into the first event? Obviously, probably I can imagine there's a lot of nerves in the building, a lot of like nervous pacing about and stuff. Like, what was it like generally as a feel like in the arena beforehand?
Yeah, so I guess for the under 80 lads, then we had one of the smaller classes, and I think lots of people felt like they had a lot to prove because it could be anybody's comp really.
Yeah,
So
especially
many,
with
so many extremely strong people there. So I think everybody was quite in the zone and stuff, and I think like Chris Harper's strength is like second to none. But I think for him on the first event, then he had the nerves going into that. Whereas like in training, he had been like Viper pressing, 110 for like 10 reps in 30 seconds. And
he
I
looked
think Dean's just
insane,
done
didn't
so.
he? Looked
Yeah.
insane. Very wow, that's
Yeah.
the world record holder there, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think for Dean, he's just done so many competitions that it is just, he knows what he has to do, and he, gets it done. And,
I guess
the
that
number of mistakes he makes is fewer.
yeah, I guess that comes with the experience of it all, doesn't it? Like I say, if you look at like yourself compared to Dean, like Dean's been doing it years and years. There's no like little mistakes or no. He's not going into any events with any no. Like he knows exactly what technique he's using, what exactly not to
Yeah.
kick a sandbag or something like that. It's going to keep coming up, mate. I'm sorry.
Uh,
But yeah, it just comes. I suppose that comes with the pre-game as well. Like, I've been talking a lot about this with Josh after Brits because my head went a bit funny after Brits during Brits. And I think with the experience of doing more and more comps, you sort of learn that routine of like, right, I'm not going to talk to anybody or I'm going to talk to everybody beforehand. You sort of find out what works when you like comp to comp. So it's
yeah.
probably something you see a lot more of people going into their routines with the big comps, like with them being like top level guys. They
Yeah.
probably have their little routine of, I don't know, one person might be chatting to anybody, one person will be gassing about trying to forget about everything. Like that's what I try and do.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So
Yeah.
yeah, just bag of nerves before the first event, then yeah, like across
Sorry.
the board. So what was So obviously you mentioned about like it being wide open with a lot of really good guys. What's the sort of the thoughts on some of the guys missing weight? Because I know you had, I think it was who was it in the 80s? It was Steve Wiley.
And Donan, yeah, Wiley and Mark Burke, I think.
Yeah, I suppose three of the top names in the 80s sort of skipped off. Was there a bit more like pepping everyone's step, thinking, oh hello, might be a bit more open here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I heard that, then I was like, oh, um, I can make top 10 now
I might
because
have
there's 10
creeped up a
people.
few spots. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but I think, yeah, there were a lot of people really annoyed, maybe not the 80s, but annoyed about like some of the athletes because, they've
Okay.
taken spots from, people that could have qualified. And I think, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I probably could have been in the mix, but I'm not going to go into that. But
Well, no,
yeah,
I think it's
it's a
fair
trick.
',
Yeah, I mean,
because some weren't even close, so.
I suppose any sport you work the rules, don't you? Like F1, you've got teams that are like constantly like fiddling and doing stuff to like stay within the rules and do whatever the rules say. So if it's
Yeah.
run the rules, but yeah,
Well,
I
I think
think.
beforehand they said like you wouldn't compete.
Oh, really?
I think I maybe read that somewhere or heard that.
Oh,
Um, but then I think, Ben Donen, he's like one of the biggest names. So I think people have an issue with, oh, is it because it's Ben Donen that it's been allowed, and people are complaining about like yoke sliding. I didn't see any of this, and
the
I'm a big Ben
controversy
fan.
here.
I'll put that out there. But
I'm one for sliding the yoke. I've slid yokes so far in competitions. Like Luke Davis
yeah,
has let me get away with murder on a yoke sometimes. I think so.
well,
I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one. Okay, so a lot more controversy over there than what we're having back home then. So yeah, I think the main discussion back home, I think through the whole weekend was like a lot to do with weigh-ins. I know I'm not going to put too much of my opinions into it, but I know there's a lot of chat about people working the system a little bit maybe, or maybe having to pick a weight class. I know Steve Wiley was very brutal about himself in his story, being like, "Look, it's just not my weight class, then is it?"
yeah, I think he's always like very like he judges himself fairly. Like I don't think you know, he's like the right amount of critical and takes like full responsibility for not making weight and stuff. I think he did really try. Like, he's
Yeah,
walking around
without
looking like
doubt.
a zombie. Um and gave it everything he could. And I think he's maybe realizes that what is he, 6'2"? Like,
Yeah, he's very tall, isn't he? Yeah.
yeah. It's like a really tough class to be in as a yeah.
As a very tall guy myself, it's difficult to stay around that age. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of weighing stuff. Maybe I think they might have to address that a little bit before the next one that they do. Although they're already doing the world's ones now, aren't they? So you might see some rules slipping. You never know. But anyway, onwards and upwards, mate. So next event, obviously, log for reps. Not the best one. Need a bit more practice. Maybe the log will be a bit more of a weapon next year on that one, I reckon, mate.
Most,
But then moving on to yoke. So first day was obviously the two events, log for reps, and then yoke. I believe it was 320. Was it the yoke?
yeah,
Yeah,
320
320.
over 20 meters.
Just a straight
Um
20-meter shot. How do you feel you went on that one? Let's give us your thoughts on that one.
yeah, I think it went all right. I think I was like middle of the pack or something. And there was like 0.05 seconds separating me and the two people below me. So I was feeling
Super
pretty
close.
lucky about that. It's just like, you know, the stopwatch can save you there. But
Literally someone a bit slow on their thumb, maybe, or
yeah,
one of the funny
sneezes or
moments.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, at least things
Um,
happen.
yeah. So I did think, I had like a bit of a chip on my shoulder maybe, and that I could get like a bitch in time there. Um, but I think I got like an okay time. I dropped it a few times, and I think I was fast on the 300 at Brits, but I think the extra 20 kilos was enough for me, like
That little
to
tipping
change
point.
the technique. Yeah. Um, but
I think that's the big thing, like
just need to
especially
get better, I guess.
Again, it's all just experience. Like I think the more you do the yoke, the more you'll understand where that tipping point is, like where you need to maybe slow the stride, like small, like shorten the stride up a little bit, slow things down a bit. It's only going to come
Hmm.
with getting the reps in, like doing different things with different weights and stuff. So again,
Yeah,
everything's an experience, mate. I can imagine every time you touch a bit of a kit, you're going to get that much better, like over the next year. So you're one of my top favourites for the next couple of years, mate.
oh,
Just keep the
thanks. I'll
crazy.
try.
Just get some better technique, and we can keep the crazy thin, and we love it. So yeah, yo, middle of the pack then. So like sort of middle of the road, like where we're feeling with the performance, like maybe could have done a little bit better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think everyone's gonna go away from an event thinking that unless they win. Looking back on the video, like I wasn't even aware of it, but I know it's a thing with the yoke where it'll kind of like swing forwards and backwards, and then if you're really seasoned, then I guess you can kind of like manage that and
Yeah, you
swing in
use
with the momentum and stuff. But it kept like throwing me off. But I had no idea until I looked at it back. So that's something I'm gonna try to think about going forwards for sure.
yeah, it's all valuable lessons learned, isn't it? Okay, then. So after day one, so like on myself, I've never done like a contest spanned over 3 days, let alone two, let alone three. How do you feel? Like I know after most comps, I feel absolutely wrecked. But how did you feel? Obviously, it was only two events, but how were you feeling? Sort of, was it the Friday night, wasn't it? Going into the Saturday, like were you thinking, "Oh my god, how am I going to do this tomorrow?" Or being 22, thinking, "Oh, I'm fine, mate."
Yeah, no, I'm definitely no stranger to like feeling ass after competitions. So with Brits, I think I would just like told myself, don't get ill, don't get ill. Get Europe's done and then get ill. But yeah, I felt fine going into day two, and I've started taking vitamin B because apparently that's meant to help with like post comp blues and stuff, and then also like crashing
Okay,
after like a really like adrenaline filled day because
so
that's what
more
I
for
run
like the
off of,
mental
like
side of things than maybe like mental and nervous system side of things more than like muscle recovery, so to speak.
100%. Yeah, I think it's meant to like, yeah, the more dopamine and adrenaline you have, then the bigger the crash is supposed to be.
Okay, so the
So I
more you
think it's
maybe
meant
just
to kind of like stunt that crash a little bit. And yeah, I felt great going into every day. So I don't know if
interesting.
it was that or
I'm going to make a little note of that because we've got 2 day coming soon. So vitamin B
yeah,
was that, yeah?
there you go.
I learned a little bit of something new. That's why we do it. Okay, then. So
Yeah,
you
well,
got your vitamins in. You got all your
yeah,
bits.
got all the
Did
vitamins, the
you find
actual
out?
vitamins.
Sorry,
So I was just saying it's actual vitamins,
no, not those Mexican
natty
vitamins.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, good lad. Good lad. I was wondering. I was wondering. So did you do anything special like recovery wise on that first night? Did you do ice bath, sauna, anything like that in particular, or?
I actually just like went onto the underground and walked around, uh, just
Okay.
like seeing the sights until like 1 in the morning, and I was like, "Fuck, it's 1 in the morning. I'm competing tomorrow. Better get to bed."
So that being said, with it two events, was it a much later start date or like start time? Sorry, or
I think it was much the same. I'm just bad at managing my time, so yeah.
well, it's good to bed. Oh, then fair enough. So no sleep. Fair enough. I'm going into second day. So yeah, you wake up Saturday morning, feel pretty
Hmm.
fresh. Many DOMs
Yeah,
or anything
feeling
like
good.
that. Feel good, ready to go. Be ready
Nah, I'm
for the job.
ready. Yeah, visualizing those sandbags. Yeah.
well, we'll get on to them in a sec. So yeah, that leads us on to third event. I believe, yeah, third event was the sandbag steeplechase, wasn't it? So what
Yeah.
were the weights in the bags, just real quick?
100 and 125.
Okay. So decent sized bags. Run us through it, Finley. Run us through it. What was going through your head when you were thinking, I'm going to kick this
Well,
bag into oblivion?
I think that was the issue, is I wasn't really thinking. Um,
Yes. I saw you pacing about before the event, and I was watching it with a mate, and I was like, Finley looks like a
he's
nutcase.
gonna do something random here. Yeah, look at him.
He's gonna like eat a
Yeah,
sandbag or something, but
yeah,
you kicked it.
kind of. Yeah, maybe like booted it a bit. No, I'm gonna stand by it. I think that can work. If
Yeah.
if it's more of a push, maybe we'll see that start happening. I'm gonna keep trying. Maybe.
Maybe if you're carrying a bit more body weight, like some of the other under 80s come comp day, you might be able to get it,
Yeah,
buddy. But bit
yeah.
grown.
Well, that's one thing.
I
I
can't
hadn't
condone
thought.
it. As a coach, I can't condone it. But if you
No.
want to go for it, buddy, you go for it, man.
Okay.
Make it work for you. I
Yeah.
think you made history with that kick. So
Yeah. I got memed.
you
My
did.
yeah. My parents loved it, so good job.
I'm glad it went down well. It was one of them where I was like hovering over the
Mm.
share button, like, ooh, go
No, I
on.
love it. I love it. No, you
No,
have to
awesome. So
laugh.
after the kick, like you got off to a really, really good start. I think you were up against Kyle, weren't you?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Carl's very, very fast on those sandbags. So, yeah, I actually beat him on the sandbag carry event at UKNS, but it was like by like zero 0.5 of a second. Like,
You beat him,
again,
bro. That's all
could
that
have just been.
matters.
See a
Yeah.
quarter inch or a quarter mile. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, so run us through. So after the kick, you got a pretty good pick up on the first bag after that, didn't you? And then
Yeah. No, it was actually feeling really good. Like sandbags, sometimes they just feel heavy as fuck. Sometimes they feel light, and it just felt light. Um, and then once I picked the 125 up, I managed to load it. Like in the warm up room, I tried like maybe 4 or 5 times to load the 125, and I just failed every time. So I was just like, I'm fucked. So I managed to get that, and I got the third bag and kind of close to the fourth bag. So I was actually like really surprised and pleased with
so I
how I
remember
did there.
watching it and seeing you were absolutely flying. You were like neck and neck with Kyle, and then I think it was after that first load at the end. Was it the 100 bag or the 125 you had to do first on that one? Was it the 100?
100 first, yeah,
I remember seeing your pace on the way back, just like round to a halt, like a bit of
yeah,
fatigue, like legs going and stuff like that.
yeah. I think that's the issue with uh my kind of style of attack at the moment is I do just have to use my fast twitch muscle stores, especially with all the adrenaline. So I just like flush all my energy really fast.
The ATP just
Um,
goes like so quickly, doesn't it? Like lactic acid
yeah.
just building up. Once
Mhm.
that hits as well, like it's something else, and it? Like especially on an event when you've got the adrenaline, you've got everything right, you're trying to go quick, and then your legs just like you
Mhm.
can't move them any quicker, can you? Like, come on, come on, come
Yeah.
on.
I actually found a little hack for that as well if you want. You take some bicarb, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
take it before like sandbags or anything. Maybe like shield carry,
right.
because if you take bicarb and you have the belt on, it kind of like makes you like need to spew. But
Blows around.
for other events like endurance, bicarb will just stop that lactic acid building up.
We're getting all
Yeah,
the pearls of wisdom from the Shetland Islands
yeah.
today.
I'm not gonna have anything else that kind of sets me apart now. Giving away all
Yeah,
my
well, hey,
secrets.
want to keep a few bits up your sleeve. So vitamin B for the post-con blues, get your bits
That's
back
right.
up,
Yeah,
and then
smash that
bicarb
in.
sober for lactic. Okay, fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Must be
Maybe it just
some
like changes the pH of your blood a bit or something, but I don't know. Bro science maybe.
chemistry from the Shetland Islands. I like it.
Yeah, fucking chemist. Yeah.
So didn't quite get the fourth bag, but still like very respectable. Like that's two heavy bags, a lot of loading, especially after two events the day before as well to go in and have to like manage those almost like first event nerves again coming
Yeah.
back in.
Well, yeah, that's a good point actually. Yeah.
And I think that's the worst thing about competing is like when they put something really technical as a first event because you just like, I'd rather just max deadlift, go out there, bang it out, and then you've got the nerves out. But yeah, I can imagine like doing 3 days where you've got that first event every day to get through. Like fair play to you, dude. So moving on, fourth event. So second event from day two, deadlift ladder. Finley's time to shine. Didn't disappoint either, did we, my man?
Yeah, it I loved it. It was really fun. Um, but deadlift is something I've done like thousands of times and I should not be, doing 1.5 reps of the first and last bar.
I
But
saw that. Yeah, you're just sort of showing off, or like, what's going on
yeah, just flexing, get a couple extra reps in.
there? Love it.
Um, yeah, I just lost balance a bit. Like the first bar, I always found like when I trained it, I would fuck that up, and then all the other bars I would grab right straight away. So yeah, I
I
was a
think
bit behind.
I think as an athlete, once you make that slight error, when you're going to do another rep straight after, like you very quickly like make that adjustment. Like I saw a lot of guys and girls
Yeah,
deadlift ladder like running up to the bar, and you can see almost like falling forward, like two stacked over the bar, like too much of that forward momentum going into their setup of the deadlift. I think it's probably similar to what happened with you with the first bar, wasn't it?
yeah,
And then
yeah.
bounce it back up.
Somebody actually gave me some pretty good advice. They're just saying like, 220 is the weight that you can smash easily, like hype or no hype. So do the first bars without the hype and then switch the hype on for the last bar. And I'm like, that makes loads of sense. I don't need to be getting like, you know,
Like
as in the zone as
220.
possible every time. Yeah. I just save it for when I need it. Um, so, you know,
Like,
I think I maybe didn't look more measured this comp, but I think slightly more measured than Brits. I was having more fun.
you didn't
Um,
fall over. You didn't fall over this time. I'll give you that.
That's right. Yeah, that's an
Stacked it on
improvement.
that,
Yeah,
the yoke into sandbag and flying back and slipped over. I was like, bit
yeah,
these on. But no, honestly, it's those little improvements that will come. Like if you look at, like say, we mentioned like Dean earlier. I think how many years has Dean been beaten by that compound effect of all those comps that he does, like just that little 1% each comp.
hmm
20 comps later, you're 20% better. So just
yeah,
keep that trajectory going, mate. Like honestly, I think you're doing great. I love watching you do the ladder, mate. Even with those like little hiccups, you were still absolutely rapid. Like, where did you place on that overall?
I think I was fourth.
Fourth,
Yeah,
even with like a couple of stumbles and things, like against arguably some of the best deadlifters in the world. Like obviously Ben Donen wasn't
yeah,
there, but you've got guys like Molnar, um,
yeah,
yeah, a few of the
yeah.
guys
Well,
that
he
are.
got really unlucky. Did you see his one? Yeah,
I think didn't he
because
go
like,
to? He tried to not strap in for the last one, didn't he?
yeah, and like, fair enough. That's like a really easy weight for him.
I think
But I
if you've
think,
watched people do that before as well, like you think, right, everybody's strapped in for the last bar. I'm gonna save my second or so and do that, but it just
mhm,
didn't work out for a billion.
yeah. I mean, like 9 days out of 10, he's doing that. I think he maybe injured his hand a bit on one of the events, and it started like swelling or something. But
Okay,
yeah, like he was on track to like hit a stupidly good time, and I think everyone's known for months that that's his event and stuff, and it's really unfortunate. But he will, definitely have
come back.
his time to shine. Yeah,
He'll
for
come back
sure.
with some fire. Like I was watching his training on the lead up to it, and like he looks solid on that deadlift
Hmm.
ladder. Like he's like hands down one of the best deadlifters on the planet.
Yeah,
Ungraded. So
and he's only been training back for like around a year after his injury. So
it
yeah, it's
blows my
just
mind. Like I had two metal plates put in my knee when I was 21. The thought of doing Europe's Strongest Man the next year, like
yeah,
blows my mind after a knee surgery like he had. Like it was absolutely nuts for him to be back where he is, and I think it's testament to like his headspace. So he's not going to let that little fuck up or that little slip
yeah.
up affect him again in the future. I don't think so. So yeah, so that takes us to the end of day two. So you've done sandbag carries, loads, you've done deadlift ladder, massive heavy weights. How's your body feeling after the 2 days? It's got to be feeling a little bit beat up.
Nah,
Looking
I think
at
I'm feeling all right. I was
these
just choosing not
youngsters,
to feel. Yeah, well, I was slamming like 5 ibuprofen like every day.
ain't got time to
Um,
bleed, eh, Finlay?
yeah, we'll see.
Fair play. Nutter. So going into day three, whereabouts were you standing after day two, by the way? Whereabouts were you sitting?
Ooh. I think I was tied seventh with
Okay, so
Sunny.
yeah, so you're sitting pretty good going into day three. Feeling confident about the last two events? Like how are they sort of been going in training? So you got the shield carry, is it 150?
Yeah.
150 kilo
So
shield.
yeah, I'd only touched the sandbag who's fell for Brits, and then a
Yep,
122 shields a few times going into this comp. So I was like, this is gonna feel stupidly horrible.
just yeah.
But when I did pick it up, I actually felt like really good, and I was like, it felt like nothing. And then, but it's just one of those events. Like 5 minutes after, I was like, if I did that again, I would have gotten a better distance. Probably
Yeah.
not, but like I was just like, ah, why did I
Yeah.
drop it? Why didn't I keep going?
So how far did
Um,
you get in the end on that one?
around 45 meters, I think, which I
Still
think
very
again was like middle of the pack.
still very good though. 45 meters. So it was a 20-meter up and back,
Hmm.
wasn't it? So you've done what, two lengths plus another turn?
Yeah,
Solid work, dude. Like 150 kilo front carry. That's nothing
I know, and it was like
nose up that.
really like thick. Yeah,
Big horrible thing. Like you saw a lot of the girls were like dropping it down into their hands, like
the
losing all their.
fingertips. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
Kiki. Was it Kiki, the big Norwegian girl,
could have
Scandinavian girl?
been. She was like
I think
20 meters just in her fingertips. It was like
yeah,
insane. Everybody like she just kept going. It was like it was amazing. Yeah.
I think women like just have that next like I'm going somewhere else when they do these like endurance events because you see them at like props doing max sandbag runs and stuff and they're like smiling and laughing. I'm like I'm gonna die. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
not
know, there's
right.
something
Yeah.
to it. But yeah, there's some really impressive performances on there. Like Carl Scott,
Kyle.
he's been
Yeah.
got what did he get? Like 65, 66 meters or
Yeah,
something?
like 61ish meters.
Yeah, like
But
mad.
shout out to him actually, because in the warm up area, I was like training a certain way, like on the yoke, and then he was like, "Oh, Finlay, um, come look at the shield." because you'll see that it's actually like this, and you'll probably want to like warm up like that. And I was like, damn, thanks, man. Like he just came up to me and gave me like really good advice, and yeah, I think everyone's saying he's like really talented, which is true. He's very talented, but he's also very smart.
Very
Yeah,
intelligent, isn't he? Yeah. He
yeah,
looks it as well with his glasses.
yeah. Well, yeah, you know, maybe if he took his glasses off,
He's clear. I
it
think
would look.
he's coached by Laurent Charlet as well, and I know he's someone that was always very like meticulous for things. Like he coaches like Mitch Hooper, and he's very like it's all very
Yeah,
every event's very much sort of thought through, like the training method behind it and everything. And like it shows with Kyle, like he's absolutely smashing this
yeah,
year. So I'm actually speaking to him later this week, or yeah, tomorrow I think actually. So it'd be
hmm
interesting to catch up with him. But
yeah.
yeah, he had an absolutely amazing one. Took the event win on that one as well, didn't he? But still 45 meters. Like, what was sort of the gap with the next people up? Do you know?
I think Dean was a few meters ahead, and then Chris Harper a few meters ahead of that. Uh, and then there was maybe Rich was in between there,
Yeah,
and then yeah, Sonny was like almost 60 meters,
yeah.
and then
Sonny
yeah,
had a
there was
really good
Kyle.
run. Yeah,
Yeah.
but so up there with like literally some of the best 80s on the planet with stuff like that, like literally Dean, Chris, like both podiums. Yeah, bonkers, really good man. Like, I'm really blown away by his performance. It was really good to watch him, man. Like, I was cheering away at my laptop. Go on, for me.
Thank you.
That's all right. So last event then. So event 6, day 3, power stairs. How are you feeling going into this one? Because obviously we did it at Brits a couple of weeks ago.
hmm
Um, I won't go into depth, you know.
Yeah, kick my
Um,
ass.
but it was a little bit heavier, wasn't it? A little bit heavier this
Yeah,
time.
went
What were
up
the weights this
to, I
time?
think it was 130, 150, 170, 190.
Oh right, yeah. So
So,
four stairs. How did you get on in the end then, buddy?
um, yeah, I think it was a middle of the packish finish again, maybe a bit lower, but got all the 130, 150, 170, and then I almost loaded the 190. Um, which yeah, it was close.
That's a heavy like implement for the power stairs. It's 190 kilos. I think Brits
Yeah,
went up to 160, did we? 170, I think was the heaviest.
170, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
and it
last
was
one
a
was
really weird shape as well. Like it was like really like
yeah, they
long and then like
like the
yeah,
square blocks, didn't they, this time round? Do you feel like that was
yeah,
any different to using like plates? Obviously, I think we had like standard 20 plates in the Brits.
yeah. No, I think it was a bit, but I think I only realized how to do power stairs like the week before. Like realized that you want to stand more in front of it, so it kind of like swings up.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I was like, oh, cool, this is gonna feel awesome. And then I go to the event, and then it's like, what is this? You know, the shape is so
What's
weird,
this?
and yeah, you can stand a bit in front, but maybe not as much as you would have wanted. And yeah, it's like there's stuff to figure out with that. So I
Yeah.
don't know if like other comps are gonna use that shape and stuff, and
I think
if
it's
that's the
probably
case,
I think it'd be rare, like at a smaller comp, to find like a bespoke
yeah.
bit of kit like that. I think you're just unlucky with it being such a big comp. Too good for your own good, mate. With it just being that odd shape. So you loaded the first three, just couldn't quite get that last one on.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I really like went and dug deep for that, ran around in circles and
I
shouted at
think
myself a bit and almost got it, but you know.
I think with that though, with it being with that power stairs, I think with you like with yourself being a bit of a shorter athlete, if you don't mind me saying. I
Yeah.
know, heathen. But like, it's definitely one of those ones that suits a longer athlete, like a taller athlete. Really, I think you just get that little bit more clearance before
hmm
going into like the push with the knees to get it up onto the step. I think that the extra height can just help a lot. So
Yeah.
just have to start growing, mate.
I'll try my best, motivate
To be
me.
fair, you're young enough. You're probably still growing anyway, so you've got
I
that
can
in your
grow
favour.
into, some bigger shoes. Like I think Dean has some like lifts or something, but
Yeah, I used to see him do stones. He used to wear like big old desert army boots, I think.
yeah, why
But
not? I think it would make sense for him. And I
yeah,
think I'd say it's big deadlifters won't necessarily be good on the power stairs because it's those long arms. I think short arms would be
yeah.
good for you on that. Um,
I've, I've always been well. Once I actually started training power stairs, I was right because I've got quite short arms but long legs.
mhm.
So
Oh,
like it comes
perfect.
up quite high. It doesn't help me for a deadlift because I have to lift it like that extra bit further. I just cram up
Yeah.
with the long legs in. But for things like power stairs and like throwing bags and things. I do find like
Yeah.
long legs do help big time. So overall, where were we, Finn?
I was 8th.
Officially
Yeah.
number 8 in Europe.
Yeah.
Impressive, dude. It's impressive. So first proper like sort of year and a half's worth of competing to be within the top 10 in Europe. I think anybody would be very happy, Finn. So I know, like athlete you are, you're going to break down things and you're going to be harsh on yourself. But I think taking time, I think you took time with Dean to celebrate sometimes out, didn't you? I saw some pictures of you. Was it 5 a.m. outside a casino in Blackpool?
Yeah. That was after Brits. After this Euros, that was a whole nother night. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
bet,
was.
mate. I bet.
Yeah.
The Scots loose in Blackpool. Here we go.
Yeah.
No, but fair play to you, dude. Like I say, like all congratulations to you for what you managed over the last like year and a half. Like I didn't even know who you were a few months ago, year ago, and now like you're on everyone's mouth. Maybe for the wrong reasons, kicking sandbags, but you're on
Yeah.
everyone's radar,
Soon.
mate. Like,
Yeah. I kind of feel like you know, people are speaking, but you know, maybe it'd be better if people were speaking.
if they're talking, buddy. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, going like last, uh, and just running around like a lunatic, you know. Hopefully. But I honestly feel like if I don't, harness that adrenaline, then there's like a chance that I'm not moving those weights. So at the moment, I feel like there's a bit of a necessity to go a bit nuts in
Yeah,
order
okay.
to be able to like kind of compete. And I'm hoping, gonna have a big off season and just get stronger. And then I can focus on making fewer mistakes and maybe sacrifice some strength, maybe not, um,
Maybe
because
as you get a bit more experience, we can sort of balance what events we go a bit crazy on, and because
Mhm,
you maybe have the confidence with the weights, like you say, if you're needing that intent, that adrenaline, to maybe think, right, if I don't get hyped up, I'm not going to hit this 115 log.
mhm.
Maybe a year down the line, when you've hit 115 a few times, and you know, right, I don't need to go full send on this one.
Yeah,
But again, that's sort of experience. So again, this was I needed. Well, you pretty much answered my next question, which was going to be like, what would you say like the biggest lesson learned over the last like few comps? And it sounds like just getting a bit more experience on the events and maybe dialing in that crazy or turning it up and down when we need it.
yeah,
It's going to be very valuable, mate. And like I say, I'd probably speak for many people in Britain as well, thinking, oh shit, Finley's going to be a big problem over the next couple of years. Um, like keep you crazy. Like I said before, Europe said like keep going full Finley because we all love it. And like I say, with the experience coming, you will make less mistakes, and like and no doubt, like next year, you'll probably be pushing top 5, maybe podium for Europe and stuff. Like that. So
oh, thank you, man.
live it up, man. Big shoes to fill now. Can't let me down, mate. All right.
Yeah,
All right then, buddy.
yeah,
So right, we'll call it there then, mate. It's been great chatting to you. And
yeah,
I'm guessing taking it easy comp wise over for the rest of the year.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. I just need to get better, you know. I could try and qualify for Worlds, but I just need to get better. So
fair play,
I'm happy
mate.
to do that. I'm happy to play the long game and just work.
You've got longer than
But
most of us to play that game, mate. So 22, so you've got plenty of time to do it, mate. But that brilliant. It's been a pleasure chatting to you, mate. Like, appreciate your time, appreciate you coming on, and keep training away, mate. Keep being a problem, keep going nuts.
yeah,
All right,
will do.
buddy.
Yeah.
All right, peace out, Finn.
Cheers.
I will see you next time, buddy. Appreciate your time.